Hello everyone. A recurring theme in the Planet Jockey simulation was keeping a cool head when things went wrong, and making calculated moves instead of just reacting. In a scenario on the 4th level, we were presented with the choice of making a knee-jerk reaction to a competitor's announcement, or to take a few more days to re-strategize. This is also covered in the task orientation and initiating structure concepts discussed in chapters 5 and 9 of the book. I have often found that slowing myself down to think about a situation that has gone wrong usually prevents it from getting worse. A decision made in haste is rarely the right one. Little time must be sacrificed even when the decision needs to be made quickly. The following is an example of how I once dealt with a catastrophe by giving myself time to make the right decision. I drive for DoorDash, a food delivery app. People order food using it, and I'm told where to pick it up and where to drop it off. Common problem I encounter is with the GPS. Sometimes there's a lag in the system and I end up making a wrong turn because I'm moving faster than it can update. While on a delivery one day, I made a wrong turn that was complicated by some construction in the area, and the problems just kept piling on. Now, let me show you what happened. Please excuse the crudity of this model. I didn't have time to... Wait, does this seem familiar to anyone else? Hey. What are these doing here? Anyway, I was on the other side of town on my usual post when I got an order from McDonald's here at 16th Street and Avenue B. It's one of the busiest intersections in Yuma, and as you can see, there was also some construction that day. This Land Rover will stand in for my old Dakota. I came up on 16th Street and saw what was going on. Some of the lanes were blocked with caution tape, and there were a bunch of cones everywhere, marking the alternate path we were supposed to follow. This model glosses over some details, but it should illustrate basically what happened. Keep in mind that there was a ton of traffic flowing through the intersection throughout this scenario. I passed by this first section with some sort of carrier truck next to it, and made my turn onto Avenue B. I was a bit annoyed by all this because there must be some sort of law in Yuma dictating that the city can't go more than a few months without tearing up some part of 16th Street. But I made it to the McDonald's and picked up the food without incident. I got back in the truck and looped around the back of the building. Here's where the trouble began. I couldn't quite see where the customer's house was on the map, and sometimes the GPS won't even tell me which direction I was supposed to go until I've already made a turn. I went right, thinking that was the way to go, but then I looked on the map again. It looked like I was going the wrong way, so I got in the median, and I made a U-turn. I'd gone quite a bit down the street, realized I was going the wrong way, and made a U-turn. Only after I was going the wrong direction did it finally tell me, by which point I'd almost made it back to the intersection of the construction. I couldn't make another U-turn because of those blocked off lanes and cones marking the path in the middle of the intersection, so I had to cut through this gas station here. Hey, look at these guys. They look like they're about to get in a freak gasoline fight accident. Anyway, I was panicking a little bit. I can be penalized for late deliveries. It was hot, and there was all sorts of traffic in my way. I couldn't just turn left onto 16th because you can only turn right out of that gas station, and the construction was still in the way. To make up for lost time after turning right, I made my U-turn a little faster than I should have. This resulted in the drink tumbling onto the floor of my truck. I pulled over to inspect the damage and get my bearings. The cup had almost completely spilled. In order to prevent things from getting even worse, I took a moment to calm down and formulate a plan. My instinct was to just go back to the McDonald's and refill the cup, but that would require dealing with the closed lanes again, and there was still a ton of traffic. It also would take longer because I'd have to wait for the light to change. Instead, I decided to go right on Avenue B and stop at the first convenience store I found to refill the cup. Then go back the other way to complete the delivery. Yuma has a ton of convenience stores, so I knew I'd see one eventually, if not quickly. I was right. I pulled over, rinsed out the cup, and refilled it with Sprite and ice. I continued on to the customer's house, which was on Avenue B on the other side of 16th Street. Upon arrival, I apologized for being late to the customer and explained everything that had happened. He seemed to be aware of the construction in the area and understood. Everybody left happy. If I had not taken a moment to calm down, this could have ended badly. At best, I would have completed the delivery even further behind time. And in the worst case scenario, frustration in the desert heat would have gotten to me, as it has more times than I care to admit, and I would have not seen some obstacle or oncoming traffic. A totaled vehicle would mean no more driving for DoorDash, possibly ever, since finding a job is very difficult in this town. It wasn't strictly a lesson in leadership, but it is one that I will carry with me in leadership roles in the future.